Hey guys, happy Friday. Today we're going to be working on that craft that I was telling you about, but before I talk about that, make sure you watch to the end of the video today so that you can see all of the drawings that were sent to me this week. Now, what we're going to be working on today is we are going to be making some really cool tissue paper flowers. The supplies that you'll need are a pipe cleaner. If you don't have these, you could use a straw or something else. The pipe cleaner works best though. And then some craft tissue paper. So it looks like this. It's not what you blow your nose on. It's like what you would get in the gift wrapping section at Walgreens or Walmart or whatever. So you're gonna need these things here. These are a great gift for Mother's Day. I used to make these all the time when I was younger. I had a whole book about how to make them. And I remember I made like 20 of them for my mom once for Mother's Day. And I put them on her piano. And then overnight my cat went and she destroyed all of them. And I was super sad. So here's a tip, don't let your cat play with this or they will ruin it. But they're really fun, they're not too hard to make. And I'm gonna show you guys the steps right now. Alright guys, so I am going to show you how to make some of those tissue paper flowers. They're actually really simple to make, and I just have a couple different colors here. If you only have one color, that's fine. They still look really nice either way. But what you want to do first is get your tissue paper, and you're going to cut out some shapes from your tissue paper using your scissors. If you need help with this one, have an adult help you. So I actually have with this tissue paper, it's a bunch of layers kind of on top of each other, which is actually nice for what I want to do. I'm going to do a circle this time, though you can really do all sorts of shapes. I'm going to avoid this folded part, and I'm going to start here, and I'm cutting through a bunch of layers of that tissue paper. And I'm just going to cut out a nice circle. Okay, so I cut out a circle, and as you can see, it is not a very nice looking circle. It actually does not matter very much for this project if your circle is a perfect circle or not. I'm just going to cut off that little part that was kind of flat. So there's my start. There's a couple different ways that we could continue here. These really can be made in so many ways, so there's really no right or wrong way to do this. I could leave all of these circles that I cut out the same size, but I think what I would like to do is I would like to have 2 big, 2 medium, and 2 small. So I'm going to take 2 that I cut out already, and I'm going to actually make them a little bit smaller. And then these I'm going to cut even smaller than the ones I just did. What I'm going to do now is I am going to go along the edge of these circles, and I am going to cut little slits. You don't need to do a ton of them. See how spread out they are from each other? But they help when we do the next couple steps. Alright, so there are my different size circles. I could stop there, but I think I would like to do a little more because I have all these different colors here. I'm going to fold this in half, and I am going to make 2 more circles out of pink, and then I'm going to make a few out of this purple. Alright, so I have a lot of circles cut out. I'm going to do one more out of this yellow paper. If you happen to have yellow tissue paper, or at least just a different color, I do think it's nice to cut out a small yellow, or any color that's different, but cutting out a small yellow circle that can be like the center of your flower. This one I am not going to cut slits into. Okay, cool. We got a lot of circles here. So now I'm going to take one of my pipe cleaners. If you don't have a pipe cleaner, you could use a straw. It won't be quite as sturdy, but it should still work okay as long as you're careful with it. And I'm going to look for my biggest circles first. And I'm going to go right in the middle and poke a hole through. Be very careful because this stuff can rip really easily. So I'm just going to go from biggest to smallest. And you can put more than one on at a time. It's actually probably easier to line them up if you do that. Alright, so we got all our circles on here, and the last one is this yellow one. So I'm going to put this one on here, right in the center. Alright, and now if you have a straw, you're going to have to skip this step, but if you're using a pipe cleaner, you're going to bend it over and kind of like curl it over itself so that it's pressed down and it's flat and the stuff will not just accidentally come off. So it looks okay, but it's not done yet. What we're gonna do now is go just a few pieces of tissue paper at a time and gently crunch it with your hand. So I'm going, crunching it gently. And I'm always crunching it forward on the flower. I'm not crunching it backwards. I want the petals to be crunched towards the front. So there it is from the side. You take just a few at a time. It's kind of hard to control what all you grab, but do your best. And at the end, you're kind of crumpling it all together. Okay? Then you're going to take it and just kind of open it back up. And it's already starting to look a lot better, a lot more like, you know, a little flower. But there's some parts where it's just not that interesting yet. So like my purple, I'm going to crumple it again. If you notice something doesn't look much like petals, then you sometimes can just crunch it again and it'll look more like it when it's done. So there is my first flower. I think it turned out pretty good. You can always take some of the circles and spin them around if you feel like they got kind of like uneven with each other. But that one looks pretty good. I think it's really pretty. And from the side, it has a little bit more texture to it now too. You can make a leaf in it if you want by kind of making a loop in the pipe cleaner and then taking the bottom and pulling it through that loop. So this one's all done. And this is like probably the most simple one to do, just a circle with the little slits, and then you get your nice little flower. But I'm going to show you one more that we can do. You can really come up with all sorts of ideas, but I'm going to use mostly purple for this one. I'm going to cut my flowers out in the shape of kind of like pointy star-shaped petals. So with a marker, I'm going to draw this first because I don't have confidence that I could cut it out correctly the first time. I'm doing 2 curved lines that meet in a point. If you're thinking that you don't know how to draw flower petals very well, like if you don't have a lot of practice, I would actually recommend drawing flowers on a different paper first, because you really can't erase if you mess up on tissue paper. And then when I cut this out, because tissue paper is kind of see-through, I'm going to try to cut inside the black lines as best as I can, so that hopefully you won't see any of that marker. Alright, I got my star petals there. I'm going to do the same thing on some pink tissue paper. Okay, so I have pink and purple now, and I'm going to get my pipe cleaner and just start with whichever color you feel like. I'm going to do one at a time because I'm going to alternate colors. I have a bunch of extra pink ones. I didn't realize I cut out a bunch more than my purple, so I'm just going to put all 3 of those on here. Alright, so I have all of my flower petals on here, and as you can see, if you kind of move them around so that they're not all even with each other, the flower looks kind of cool. Something you can do before you bend your pipe cleaner down, and if you have yellow paper, is you can rip just a little bit of yellow tissue paper, and you can kind of wrap it around the pipe cleaner, and then you can bend it over like we did on the last one, and instead of there being like a little green spot in the middle of your flower, you have this yellow spot that looks a little bit more like what a flower looks like. And then like the other flower we did, we're gonna kind of crunch it up. There we go, we got another flower all finished. So here are the 2 flowers that I did. Now, if I had colors that were a little bit more different, I think it would look more fun. But even if you only have one color, like if you did all pink, but you did tons and tons of circles or tons of these, they still look so beautiful when they're all finished. So I hope you guys had fun making these today, and definitely experiment. Try to find more like ways to make them and see how they look, and just have fun making them. Alright guys, I hope you had fun making your tissue paper flowers with me today. They really are a lot of fun. You get better and better as you make them, and there's so many ways to make them. I only showed you 2 different ways, but there's like hundreds of ways to make these. In the description, I'm going to put a link to more ways that you can make these. So if you really like them, you can look at some of those links that I put in there, and you can find things that you want to try if you want to keep making more of them. These would be, again, a great gift for Mother's Day, or, you and your mom or your grandma or your auntie could work on these together for Mother's Day. That would be a lot of fun too. So anyway, I hope that you had fun making these with me today. Make sure you guys watch at the end of the video to see all the awesome, amazing drawings that I got this week. And I will see you guys next week for some more drawing videos. Bye!